Coming up tonight on YCN News, we'll learn more about GOP candidates from New Hampshire, Andrew Hemingway and Marilinda Garcia. An arrest is made regarding the suspicious fire at the Congregational Church in Dummerston, Vermont. And Labor Day weekend proves to be a safe one for New Hampshire police enforcing motor vehicle traffic. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Thursday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. With 1 week to go before the state primary, candidates are hot on the trail for votes. Today, we learn more about two New Hampshire Republicans seeking elected office.
We're at New England College outside the Lee Clement Arena where a number of candidates stump for votes. I first had a chance to talk to Marilinda Garcia, who's running for the District 2 seat in the Republican primary. What advice did you have for the students?
Aside from just a little cheerleading as they enter the, some first school year, last school year for others and all places in between, just to, make the most of their time here and understand that even if they know what career they'd like to pursue, but most likely if they don't, just understand that everything's a learning experience and a lot of the skills and information you gather now, you can apply directly to your chosen profession.
One of the questions that a lot of the students have, especially the seniors, is really where am I going to go in this economy? And sort of what are your thoughts on how we can improve our economy?
Yeah. Well, during my time in the state legislature, I've served 4 terms. I've really tried to advocate and always vote for reducing the size and scope of government. Because what you find is things layer, they build up, bureaucracy grows, regulations grow and expand, and they end up being inflexible, not adaptable to unique needs and situations, be that, in education, having, unique educational challenges, business where you want to grow and expand what is perhaps a very new and unique company. So as much as things can be flexible and have local control, I think that's the best way to go about it. Also, when it comes to taxes, they also always tend to grow. It's rare that a tax is decreased. So it's really important that we not continue to raise taxes and increase spending, because then we're no longer empowered as individuals to make choices about what to do with our resources.
It's fallen on our generation ultimately to be the ones who are the standard bearer, to raise that flag and to say, okay, if we really want things to change, it's us who has to do that.
I'm with Andrew Hemingway, who's running for the governor seat in New Hampshire. One of the issues is really for the students, or the seniors especially, is jobs. Yes. So, what are your plans to really keep them in New Hampshire, not have this be, these students be part of our economic brain drain?
Yeah, well, we were talking today about solutions for the high cost of college. We have some of the highest in-state tuition costs. We graduate students here in New Hampshire with some of the highest debt ratio, and so 80% of our students that graduate from our colleges in New Hampshire immediately leave, and part of that is the job market. On that front, New Hampshire has taxed and regulated businesses out of our state. We have almost a 40% unemployment rate among millennials today in New Hampshire. It's very, very high. And so this is something which we need to address. We need to attract technology companies which hire younger workers with above average wages, and we need to look for ways to lower the tax burden so that businesses can start here, can grow here, look for ways to create startups. And I myself have built and sold 2 software companies, so understand that market. And I believe that New Hampshire is a perfect place to do that. We just need to make some small changes. That's why I'm running for governor. Make some of those changes, stimulate New Hampshire's economy, and we can start to retain some of these brilliant young people that we have.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy day. From New England College, this is John O'Connor reporting for YCN News.
Thanks, John. Turning to local news, 20 minutes will be added to the school day at Stevens High School in Claremont to make up for its delayed start to the school year, the Valley News reports. A unanimous vote yesterday night by the Claremont School Board will amend how the school will meet state-mandated time and learning requirements. In all, 10 days of classroom instruction must be made up to compensate for the school opening September 10th instead of August 27th. Administrators, including the high school's new principal, Patricia Berry, recommended adding more time to each day. A meeting next week may firm up the details of this plan, including how it will affect bus schedules for younger students at the middle and elementary schools. Small businesses are often seen as the engines that drive a regional economy. A bill signed into law today by New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan highlights the need for governmental awareness of this fact. Today, in the Cheshire County town of Gilsum, Senate Bill 215 became law. The bill was signed during a ceremony at Badger Balm, a Gilsum-based company known for its organic, all-natural skincare products. About 50 people work at Badger Balm, one of the area's larger private employers. Badger Balm is known also for its socially and environmentally safe practices. Senate Bill 215 is bipartisan legislation that authorizes benefit corporations. Benefit corporations, also known as B Corps, are businesses that not only consider profit in the decision-making process, but also social and environmental responsibility. Badger Balm is one company that practices these beliefs in the business world. Businesses like Badger Balm, who are responsible in many ways and to the community in which they reside, strengthen our economy and our communities, Hassan says. Under Senate Bill 215, the New Hampshire Benefit Corporation Act aims to make New Hampshire more attractive to such innovative businesses that keep our state moving in the right economic and earth-friendly direction. For more information on Badger Balm and B Corps, go online to badgerbalm.com. In Vermont news, a 14-year-old Randolph Center teen struck by a car last week has died. WNTK reports Zachary Paroline died from injuries he suffered in the collision. The investigation by Vermont State Police continues. Paroline was rushed to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon, New Hampshire on August 28th after being struck by a car driven by Katie Boulay. Police reported last week that Paroline may have been accidentally struck by the 2005 Cadillac CTS Boulay drove at the time. Paroline may have been in the roadway when he got out of another car to get mail from the family's mailbox. Paroline left the passenger side of a vehicle and ran around the back of the parked vehicle and into the street, where he was hit by Boulay's car. Donations to an aviation camp scholarship in the teen's memory can be made to the Newport, New Hampshire School District. The teen's parents arranged the scholarship through the school district. Donations can be sent to 9 Depot Street, Newport, New Hampshire 03733. Regarding a report yesterday of a suspicious fire at the Congregational Church in Dummerston, Vermont, an arrest has been made. 19-year-old Dakota Thomas of Dummerston is charged by Vermont State Police with second-degree arson. The arrest was made yesterday evening around 5:30 p.m. Thomas is scheduled to appear in Brattleboro Superior Court on October 14th to answer to the charge. A 26-year-old Claremont man will likely spend the rest of his life in state prison after pleading guilty to sex crimes involving children. Kevin Blood of Hanover Street, Claremont, received his sentence in Sullivan County Superior Court yesterday afternoon, the Eagle Times reports. Blood pleaded guilty to 2 counts of aggravated felonious sexual assault and 2 counts of manufacturing child sexual abuse images. He will serve 2 25 years to life sentences. Kevin Blood and his wife, Ashley Blood, also 26, were arrested on the sexual assault charges last fall. Ashley Blood earlier pleaded guilty to felony-level sexual assault charges. She also is serving 2 25 years to life sentences. The victims, both girls, were less than 5 years old at the time. Both girls have since been adopted by the foster family that cared for them after the Bloods' arrest. The children, the Eagle reports, had been in the custody of the Bloods until they were removed from that care because of physical abuse by Kevin Blood. When YCN News returns, we'll learn why Labor Day weekend proved to be a safer one for New Hampshire police, and we'll check out some adorably adoptable pets from YCN's Pet of the Week.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Meanwhile, Labor Day weekend proved to be a safe one for New Hampshire police enforcing motor vehicle traffic. Safe because state police report there were no fatal crashes between last Friday and Labor Day Monday. New Hampshire State Police Director Colonel Robert Quinn says troopers stopped 4,751 motorists over the three-day weekend. Of that number, 1,092 citations for speeding were issued. 3,004 drivers were given warnings. Other citations include 87 for hazardous violations and 83 for people driving after suspension. And 105 arrests were made by police for criminal activity. 34 arrests were made for driving under the influence. The New Hampshire State Police are committed to ensuring safe travel throughout the state and will continue its efforts to reduce collisions during the upcoming fall season. Defacing a state park is a crime, and Vermont police seek the public's help in learning who is behind several names spray-painted at Mount Ascutney State Park in Windsor. The graffiti was discovered yesterday afternoon by Vermont State Police. On the rocks and bushes at an observation point at the top of the mountain, numerous words were spray-painted, such as Sarah, Baby Jace, and Goki. Anyone with information is asked to contact Trooper Dean at the Rockingham Barracks at 802-875-2112. In lighter news, let's turn to a regular feature of YCN News.
Welcome to YCN's Pet of the Week, brought to you by Achille Agway, with 6 locations including Walpole, New Hampshire, and Evo Pet Food, the ancestral diet meets modern nutrition. Angel is a short-hair orange tiger and very petite for her 2+ years of age. She was given up by her former owner and was rather shy when coming into the shelter. She did live with other cats and had kittens previously. Angel lives in a community room and has become more confident and playful around people. She would be a joy to have in your home. Harriet is probably just over 1 year old. She's a brown-black tiger with white. She was found as a stray and has adjusted well to her surroundings. She is very sweet, likes to play with her roommates, but also relaxes stretched out in front of a sunny window. Harriet is really just a kitten herself and would be great in a family household with respectful children. Call River Valley Animal Protection League in Charlestown, 826-3061.
When YCN News returns, we'll join Upper Valley Chronicles Ann Holmes, who met with Nancy Kassman from Left Bank Books.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now, Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have patchy fog after midnight with partly cloudy skies. Lows will be around 63 degrees and wind should be calm. Tomorrow morning will be foggy until 10 a.m. Then we'll have mostly sunny skies with highs in the upper 80s and winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night we'll have partly cloudy skies with lows around 68 degrees with winds up to 10 miles per hour. Saturday we'll have a 70% chance of showers with a possible thunderstorm after 11 a.m. Skies will be mostly cloudy with highs in the upper 70s and winds around 5 miles per hour. Saturday night we'll have lows in the 50s with an 80% chance of rain and storms before 8 p.m. There are no storms currently in our region. The storms out west are expected to encounter us on Saturday. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow, the Cornish, New Hampshire Select Board will meet at 3 p.m. Then the Bellows Falls, Vermont and Walpole, New Hampshire farmers markets will begin at 4 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's take a look at local high school sports. Let's begin the roundup in boys soccer. Wednesday night, Sunapee and Wilton Lynborough competed in a very close game. However, Sunapee just edged past them with a 2-1 win. Also yesterday, Hanover made a similar victory with a 2-1 win over Concord. In Vermont, Woodstock High School and Mount Anthony School battled each other, failing to score any points even after double overtime. Turning over to girls soccer, another game took place between Sunapee and Wilton Lynborough. Sunapee once again showed their skill by defeating their opponent 2-0. In girls field hockey, Kearsarge defeated Franklin in a shutout, 2-0 final score. And we can't forget a college game that happened yesterday. The Colby Sawyer Chargers girls soccer team took on Norwich University and won 2-1. This is the first win for the Chargers of the season.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor.
The YCN News continues in a moment.